Welcome again, Maxim here, and this material is a comprehensive guide on how to create and defeat Technocytes Coda, commonly known as the Infested Liches. From the absolute basics, through exhaustive explanations, to tips on how to enhance the entire process. Let's get started. After completing the Hex story quest, if you don't have active Kuva Lich or Sister of Parvos, go on a Techrot mission, Extermination, Hellscrap or Legacyte Harvest. From the defeated enemies, sooner or later, a special item will drop, the mixtape, which you must use to hack the console. The console will be marked on the map when you pick the mixtape up. If the hacking is successful, you have a chance to receive a Potency mod, I'll get to them soon. Hacking failure will spawn a Techrot unit. In both cases, starting the hacking process creates your plague adversary. When it is done, you receive transmission from Arthur. Upon returning to the base of operations, you will see your opponent's name and the transmission from him. The Technocyte Screen is accessible from the main menu, as in the case of Liches and Sisters, but you can also open it from the Kim screen, a computer associated with Holvenia. The screen itself is very different from what you know already. On the left, at the top, you have a name. It consists of the name of the leader of the attack and 3 random words. Below you have a progress bar for malware disinfection. When it's filled up to 100%, you will be able to fight your Technocyte. In a moment I will describe in detail how to do it. Below are weaknesses, resistances and immunities. And the last are rewards, in both cases, when you vanquish or convert it. On the right you have a list of 8 antiviruses. The ones you have already tried and are incorrect will be crossed out. And when you hit the correct one, you will see the icon of it, instead of all of them. Yes, here you have to use one specific antivirus. Previously, with Liches and Sisters, you had to know which 3 Requiem symbols were correct, and then find the right order. This is much easier. 8 mods, and there is only one correct unit to use. Always. Okay, now, where to get antivirus mods, and how to lead to a fight with the Technocytes. Upon opening the Kim's navigation, after you've created your adversary, you will see that some locations have a special green marking around the icons. On these missions you can be invaded by the Duet. Behind each Technocyte are the 4 remaining group members, and 2 of them can attack you on these specially marked missions. After pointing a cursor at a given location, you will have information at the bottom about the chance of the Duet appearing. It can be 25, 50, 75 and 100%. Each mission without the Duet appearance increases this chance by another threshold. They can be found in both examinations, both survivals and Legacyte Harvest. But if you are doing one of the mentioned missions, as a bounty from the board on Holvenia, the Duet may also invade you. There's one but. In theory, there is a chance that even though you have a 100% chance of them appearing, if you go to the extraction too quickly, they may not actually appear. There's also a chance if you play in a team, the Duets queue up. Thus, it may happen that several groups are supposed to appear in one mission, but the Duets should appear one after another. They usually start appearing around the 2nd minute of a mission. Speaking of bounties, you get antivirus mods from one of them. This can be Extermination, Survival or Legacyte Harvest. This mission will have an additional task to do: killing mobs while standing on an object, opening a safe, or using finishers. They are easy to make with Vazarin's 2nd skill, or for example, Ash's 4th ability. The Duet can also appear on a such mission. If you have a problem getting all the antiviruses, remember that you always can trade with other players, for instance in a clan or in a trade chat. It is possible that you have duplicates of something that someone needs and that someone has mods that you lack. Once you have 3 first antiviruses in your power zone and the Duet appears, after a stab you will find out if any of the antiviruses used is correct or not. Incorrect ones get crossed out in red. Using the correct one is stopped with an unique sound, the animation is longer, and then you see a progress bar for malware disinfection. If you don't have the correct one in the first set, try the next 3. If after 2nd stab you don't know the correct one, then insert the last 2. So in the worst case, you will find out the correct antivirus on the 3rd try. Let's focus for the moment on the case where after the Duet appears, you don't hit them with the right antivirus. Then the chance of their appearing drops down back to 25%. If in the meantime you complete all 5 missions with green markings in the navigation, don't worry. all of them will finally reappear. If it happens that your Duet appears and you simply go to the extraction, it will be counted as using the wrong antivirus mods. However, when you hit with the right antivirus, it resets the Duet's appearance chance, but also sets all greenish missions available again, regardless of how many you've already completed. So now, how to fill the malware disinfection bar as quickly as possible. Every mission marked in green that you play from the start to finish gives you 5% progress. It is not much, but there are Potency mods that I mentioned earlier. These are special mods that increase the rate at which this bar fills up. You can get them from defeated tech rots. Each of these mods has some additional effect. For instance, when used, you have a chance for an antivirus mod or yet another Potency mod, or a chance for one live heart cell. But speaking from my own experience, it is best to focus on filling this bar as quickly as possible. There are two mods that add 15% with each hit, so you can put both in plus the correct antivirus. Using a Parazon with the correct antivirus gives you 5%, but then you don't get the 5% for completing the mission. So either the Duet doesn't appear at all, or it does, but you don't use the correct antivirus mod, then you get 5% for the mission. But after using the right antivirus, you get these 5% right after stabbing, and none for completing the mission. With this 5 and 2 15s from Potency mods, you can get 35% for one stab. Potency mods charges are consumed with each attack. Antivirus mods lose their charge only upon stab, which fills the bar to 100%. Before we move away from the mods topic, let me remind you about Transmutation. Just like in case of used Requiem mods, the same is with used antivirus and Potency mods. After consuming all 3 charges, you are left with used up mods that you can transmutate. You will then receive one random antivirus or Potency mod, depending on what you transmutate. If you are wondering about the Technocyte level, since an incorrect combination in Liches and Sisters raised their level, then no, that mechanic does not exist with Technocytes. Regardless of whether you hit the right antivirus on your first stab or third, the Technocyte will always be at the same level during the final battle. However, once you create a Technocyte, your Warframes will have assist on their necks until you defeat the adversary. Once you have achieved 100% of malware disinfection, you will have to face your opponent on the Railjacks mission on Earth Proxima. On the mission itself, you must first fly to a giant speaker. This will start the Techrot assault on your ship. After destroying the enemies and infested pods, you will be able to destroy the speaker. Do all of those things twice. After destroying the second speaker, you can go to the stadium. Once you are there, you can open the way by shooting at the huge screens above the passage. The concert itself is taking place there. During it, you cannot use operator, that would be too easy. Your task is to avoid concert attacks. If you take damage from any stage effects 3 times, you will take double damage for some time. Enemy units will be constantly approaching from the stands, and you will have to avoid missile attacks. Also watch out for the blue lasers from above. Position yourself in a specific place to avoid them. In each phase they attack twice. The first phase ends when the stage attack sequence ends and the band leaves the stage to fight you. You have to remove all their health bars once, but twice of the frontmen's. You can use Necromech to fight them, but this option is a bit buggy, so it might be better to avoid it. The second phase starts with the band returning to the stage. Now avoid stage attacks again, until the band comes down to you. The second time blue lasers work faster, and after their attack, red lasers will fly across the combat area. Make high and long jumps, and stick to one side. After the second defeat of the band, you can decide the fate of your adversary. If you want them as a helper on the Railjacks, or you want to trade them, convert. If you want live heart cells, and therefore Coda weapons, vanquish. When the concert is over, you can return to the Railjacks and to the dojo. As for the concert itself, if you want to easily survive the battle, I recommend something tanky, Nyx, Rhino or Revenant. If you are interested in farming live heart cells, I recommend playing the concert in a team. You will get one additional resource for each one additional team member, although each player means one fight with their Technocyte. After defeating one band, you start the encore and another fight begins, until each team member defeats their bands. Remember that you always get cosmetic items, regardless of whether you vanquish or convert the Technocyte, although you will receive live heart cells only by defeating your opponent. I will add that each Technocyte can carry from 10 up to 15 resources. And what you can do with them? For 10, you can buy one Coda type weapon from Eleanor on Holvenia. Every 4 days she will have 6 or 7 weapons of this type, standardly with some bonus damage, as in the case of Kuva or Tenet weapons. But remember, in her offer you'll also find a special item, Elemental Vice. When placed in a weapon of this type, it will give you the ability to switch the type of this bonus damage. And that's all in this video. If you have any questions, the comment section is yours. You can also visit me on one of my streams on Twitch. Link to the channel is in the description. See you next time. Bye.